2 years was in October, was when this 3-year-old came here to Temecula Valley. Flash came off the truck. I felt the full weight and responsibility of now owning a horse, a dream that I'd had for most of my life, and now the weight of it sunk in, and the weight of knowing that I didn't know very much. First thing I did is take the name Flash and change it to Nascha, which means little owl in Navajo, Diné, and shortened, anglicized to Nascha, Nascha. And those first weeks there were me visiting him every day and finding out, like in some of the lunging, that he had thrush, so we had to treat that. I remember a week into that, I'd gotten him out every day and put him in the cross ties, but today I just wanted to go and get his feet in his paddock and get it done. And I was completely intimidated by it and indecisive, and went to do it, and Chloe saw me and said, well, what are you doing? I said, well, I got to go do his feet, but I'm not here very long, so I wasn't going to put him in the cross ties. And she said, well, just go do it. And I said, yeah, okay. And I walked over there, got in the paddock, and was completely intimidated by him. And so I walked back the walk of shame, and Chloe said, so did you get it done? And she was super busy too, running all over the place doing stuff. She was on her cart. And I said, nah, I kind of got too intimidated. She sighed big and then went and said, give me a minute, did a whole bunch of things. I met her at the paddock. She jumped in, did his feet in about 35 seconds, and then we put the medicine in, and that was it. And that was the first week of owning a horse and realizing, like, I got to be here for him, and I got to step up to taking care of him. The second big incident within that 2 weeks was needing Daniel, Chloe's assistant, to help me with fly spray. Daniel did it on the lead first and then in the cross ties, and he was pretty spooked by it, but he got him, so he was taking it pretty well. But then, so I thought, okay, well, he accepts it now, so no big deal. Put him in the cross ties the next day, started spraying with fly spray. He jumped back and then jumped right through the cross ties. And I was in a panic trying to get him because I didn't know where he was going to run off to, and needed Daniel to come running over to help me grab him. These were the first couple weeks of my green rider, green horse experiences, and being completely intimidated and not knowing what I was doing. And then coming back the next day, and for the next 2 months with a lot of anxiety in my stomach, and quite a bit of fear, and just saying you got to overcome it and push through it, and you got to learn about him and start building his trust. And I couldn't do that without coming to see him every day and starting the groundwork process, and then starting slowly the riding process in the round pen first, then into the arena. And that was when we got him in October of 23. That was just the start before a big rainy season where it was off and on riding because of the rain and because of the arena and the round pen being flooded. So next I'm going to talk about like all the baby horse antics and inexperience that I had in riding my baby horse and getting him and myself up to speed, and all the lessons that we had. So the observations of those first 3 to 6 months with my little 3-year-old, and me being completely green at that time 2 years ago. Really rainy season also was the stop-start of getting him in the round pen and the arena. And I mean, that was quite a time to start building. But one of the other observations was how other riders in the barn handled the baby horse being in there, and that's a whole different observation. These are very experienced riders, and 15, 20 years of riding, and I was kind of surprised at, I knew I had to overcome my own anxiety, but everyone else's anxiety about a young horse being in the arena with them. I had one time where I was going from the round pen, and I wasn't even going to the arena, but the rider in the arena thought I was going in the arena and was quite panicked that when she thought I was going to come in, and she got out of the arena as I circled past it, and I was very surprised by that. And also that when I was riding him, people would stop and say, "What do you want us to do?" And I would always say, "I don't want you to do anything different than you normally would." I mean, he's got to get used to, and I got to get used to just being normal. One time we went out to ride with another rider I was riding, and we were just going to go on a quick trail ride just around the property and about. And so we were by the barn, and then we were following a pasture that had a shed, and the road connected to our road, and so we could see it on the connection. And come on, back. And the golf cart the woman with it had her horse walking alongside. And me and Nascha are watching. As we're walking, the horse come to the shed, and the shed's going to block it. So, going a certain speed, it should cross through the shed and be at the front by the road, which they had to come by the road, at a certain speed. And I'm watching it, and Nascha's watching it, and we're walking, and suddenly, and she's not coming through. And the cart, not the horse, nothing. All of a sudden, beat, we're waiting. She is at the side of the shed peering, big hat, big glasses, and the horse peering out behind it, and Nascha just loses it. And she's looking like the biggest predator around, and he just loses it and turns and runs 20 feet, 30 feet back before I had a chance to turn his head and stop him, and then walk back to the way we came. And I was so shocked by it, because I'm thinking, with all the experience, like, what you're worried about if you're the rider with experience is that he's going to spook because of the cart and the horse. But what he spooked at that was normal. The golf cart and the horse going a certain speed, but peering behind it, stopping and peering behind it, was not. That was exactly what his his instinct was against, something jumping out behind a wall or a rock or whatever. And I had like a ton of those types of experience of people worried, and I had to keep saying, no, just do normal things. Nascha and I'll work it out, which we always did.